my name is Alexandra, and welcome to our new mini-series of Top Engineering Challenge winners at Automotive. Thank you for being here with us today. To start, Automotive has decided to create this new short series so that everyone, including our viewers and engineers, can get to know better the best challenge winners so far. And that basically the interview is based on 3 parts: the introduction, the motivations for participating in the engineering challenges, and then the final learning moments. And each section has 4 to 5 questions that I'll be asking you so you can share with us your experience on solving and winning a challenge. To begin with the introduction, if you could briefly introduce yourself.
My name is Maksym Gaievski. I am 32 years old. I live in Dnipro city. I am from Ukraine, mechanical engineer from Ukraine. So this is my basic specialty, mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
And why did you choose engineering as your studies?
You see, since my childhood, I was always trying to unassemble different toys and the small mechanism. I had an interest to know how it works and how it looks like from the inside. So that's why I decided to study at the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering at the university.
Okay, and how is it like working in Ukraine in mechanical engineering?
I'm working at 2 companies from Western Europe, from Slovakia and Bulgaria now. So
okay.
I don't work in Ukraine, but you see, sometimes I get some projects from Ukrainian companies, but the main job in Europe.
Okay, that's great. And now we'll be moving to part 2, which is motivations for participating in the engineering challenges. So I'd like to ask you, how did you find Automotive?
You see, this was completely unexpected for me. I wanted to find some new courses or some lectures to improve my own knowledge and skill. And in the process of searching, I found your platform. Therefore, I decided to register and see in more detail what is it.
Okay. Super.
That's my short story.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
And
it was very simple.
yeah,
not very detailed.
No, that's great though. The important part is that you found us in the first place.
Yeah.
So what was a challenge you participated in, and why did you decide to participate?
You see, my first challenge was related to the implementation of a production line for a paper plant in Chile. When I read the terms and conditions and in general what the client wanted, I didn't immediately begin to solve this problem. I was confused by the fact that there were more than 40 people registered for this challenge. I realized that it was not worth wasting time because there will be many solutions and it will be possible to go further. So I concentrated on my current projects, but meanwhile, in my head, I sometimes ran through some solutions for this challenge. You know, my brain thought about all time, and I had already read the task and just couldn't get it out of my hand. Therefore, I decided to participate, and as it turned out, not in vain. In the end, this was the first competitions and I won it.
That's great. No, that's wonderful news. And did you invest a lot of time in preparing your first submission?
No, I will not say that it took a lot of time to write down my decisions. Sometimes I spent 1 or 2 or maybe 3 days for writing my solutions. But most of the time is spent on thinking over the solutions as a whole complex, a whole system. My opinion is that in such challenges, you need to approach the solutions entirely and not just solve a piece. So that's why not so hard to write down if you had the basic idea.
Okay. And for example, for the challenge, did you want to win or simply gain experience?
There were 3 stages in that challenge. It was the first challenge. And in the first stage, it was interesting for me to participate only. to try my skill, my hand at something new. Of course, I saw the main prize, of course, but as I said earlier, there were a lot of people, and I didn't think that I would be able to make it even to the second round at all. Of course, in the process of preparing my solution, I dealt with new designs, look at various patterns, looked for some similar solutions, and this definitely allows me to grow as a specialized. Such training gives growth in any case, any.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And did you have any prior experience with this kind of challenge?
No, it was my first time in such a challenges. So, of course, every day I face with different challenges as a mechanical engineer, but this is a daily job that pays money for, and that's absolutely normal for me. But the challenge from this platform is something new, and it's competition there here as a sporting interest, like a sport competition.
Okay, no, that's very interesting. It's very curious. And now we'll be moving to part 3, which is the finalizing learning moments.
Okay.
And I'd like to ask you, so how did you come up with the solution?
You see, when I read what the client wanted, the thought immediately appeared that a complex solution was needed here. And it was just a clear understanding. Therefore, I thought about how to solve all the described problems areas and try to imagine myself in the place of the leader of this plant. With the question, what would I do in the place in this situation with minimal resources, and how to solve these problems? And then on paper, I began to draw various patterns of movement of materials, proposed mechanism, and so on. The main problem in such challenges is that you need to build a logical chain of operations, how to move these materials, people's, financial questions. So
Okay, very challenging.
yeah. Every challenges have this problem.
And did you work independently or within a group?
At first, I was working independently, but in the first round, I worked myself from start to finish. The whole idea, the logical chain, the post mechanisms, all my work. But when I found out that I had passed to the second round, I realized that I would not have time to prepare all the necessary drawings, financial costs, because at the same time there was too much current work. And I decided to invite my engineer, my friend. He is engineer too. And my friend came up with an interesting idea for changing the grip and was able to develop it. Of course, it's easy to work in a group when there is a ready-made idea, and it remains to distribute who is responsible for every part, you know. But at the same time, in a group, it can be more difficult to come to a common opinion for such a competition. Of course, the truth is born in a dispute, but time is limited and you have to think faster and make every extraordinary decisions.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. That's very true.
yeah.
Absolutely. And how was working remotely for a foreign company, and would you do it again?
You see, I'm not afraid to work remotely in a foreign company. Even language barrier, sometimes it's not a problem for me. But I need to say English is not my hard part, not my strong part. Even now, I work with 2 foreign companies in Bulgaria and Slovakia.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where the company is located, but what matters is what kind of as a specialized you are, and just do your job with high quality. So it's main. I think it's main idea, and
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And to conclude, what recommendations or what advice would you give to other engineers watching this?
Uh, my advice is very simple. Do not be afraid. Do not to be afraid to go beyond your own knowledge and skills. Try something new. Try yourself in different areas, new areas. You will never know what is inside unless you decided to look there. So it's very, from one part, it's very simple, but from the another side, it's very difficult because all you have only in your mind.
Yeah, okay, that's amazing advice, Maksym. Thank you. So now the interview is officially complete. Therefore, I wanted to thank you once again for your time and for being with us here today, sharing your personal experience and emotive, and we loved having you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye.